You know, we have the best equipment in the world, the Patriots, the Tomahawks, the F-35s, all of our equipment's the best. Other countries want it, and we want it. We need more. It takes too long to get it. And I said, we're not going to do that anymore. So also, they were making tremendous amounts of money. I mean, 25, 50, $37 million a year. That's a lot of money. That's almost as much as you make. You work harder.
Not.
You work harder than them. No, but, you know, they were making, I asked one of the gentlemen, what are you making? Sir, I make $24 million a year. How come it takes me 5 years to get your particular thing that they make, right? So I put a cap on that for a period of time. I said, you have to build more plants. When we need Tomahawks, I want them within 24 hours. When we need any kind of a Patriot or whatever I want to have it quickly. I don't want to be waiting 3 years for it. What kind of a thing is that? And you make all this money. And I'm prohibiting them from doing stock buyback. And, you know, they haven't even complained about it.
Well, so free market capitalism, unless it's a national security issue?
Look, it's free market. It's stupid market letting that take. Why would I let them do stock buybacks and we give them, you know, the businesses from us? So I want to buy, and interestingly, their stocks went up because we raised the budgets. You know, our budgets are higher. We're going to buy more military equipment. We have to. In this world, we have to. We have the strongest military. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We have the strongest military we've ever had. And we're going to keep it that way. And you get a little glimpse of that with Iran nuclear, but you got a really very current glimpse from 2 weeks ago with Venezuela.
Yeah.
We have the smartest, we have the strongest, we have the best equipment. You know, they had a lot of anti-aircraft stuff that didn't exactly work too well.
No, thank God for our military and for our commander-in-chief on that.
We have the greatest, strongest military in the world, and we make the best equipment. We have to make it faster.
Mr. President, let me talk about affordability, because just in the last 100 days, you announced a list of things that you want to be putting in place, bringing down the cost on a number of things, a 10% cap on credit cards, $200 billion in purchases of mortgage-backed securities, banning institutions from owning single-family homes. How soon would you expect those policies to actually move the needle on cost?
Well, I think they're going to kick in pretty quickly, but we're doing great on affordability. You know, that's a word that the Democrats made up. They're the ones that caused the problem. When I inherited this, when I came into office, I had eggs that were 5 times higher than they ever were, and the people were screaming at me. Remember the famous, like 2 days after I come into, what about eggs? What about eggs?
Yeah. You said, I just got to office.
I said, do we have a problem with eggs? I just got here, right? And we have that down now lower. But food prices are coming down. Look at gasoline, $1.99 in a lot of places. We're down to $1.99 in a lot of places. We're $2.30 overall, but we're down to $1. It was $4.50, $500. I mean, think of it. It was you were spending in a lot of places over $5. We have it at $1.99. That's better than any tax cut. In addition, the great big beautiful bill just kicked in. And now you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security for our seniors, no tax on overtime. That bill is going to have a huge, and you have, of course, the 1 year deduction from, you know, build a plant and you can deduct it.
I was just going to say, the depreciation seems like it's really having an impact on small
We have thousands of businesses being built all over the country. There's never been a time like this in our country. And, you know, a lot of that's the $18 trillion that's pouring in. I spoke with Eli Lilly the other day. He's a great guy, a great leader. And I said, what are you doing? He's building 5 plants. They're spending billions and billions of dollars bringing back the drug industry into this country. Many of them, I think all of them, they all want to come. And it's because of tariffs, because they don't want to pay the tariffs. Very simple.
And I
think they were very happy with November 5th, the election.
On the cap on credit card rates, and of course they were up to 28-30% in some cases. But
no, but how can you do that? Look, I'm all for free enterprise and everything else. But you have a guy goes out and he's a little bit late on his, you know, payment, and he ends up filing for bankruptcy, right? 28%. Whatever happened to usury? Whatever happened? You know, they used to have laws that you can't charge too much, but 28%, 30%, 32%. I don't think anyone knows that. I think they get a bill and they end up just going bankrupt.
Well, one analyst said it's going to cut earnings for the banks for between 5% and 16%.
It's a 1 year deal. We got to let people get back on their feet.
Jamie Dimon says that it's an economic disaster.
They were destroyed. These people were destroyed during the Biden years. They were destroyed. We had the highest inflation in history. Look at inflation for the last 3 months. It's 1.2%. Last 3 months. It takes a little time to get there. And I'll tell you, the oil price is coming down so much. Gasoline, when you get gasoline down to, less than $2, and we've largely done that. It's coming down, and it's coming down. We're drilling more than we've ever drilled. We have more coming in. And we just took over, as you know, 50 million barrels of oil from Venezuela. And they gave it to us. They had to get rid of it. They gave it to us. It's, could be close to $5 billion. No, we're doing really well. Our country is, you report on it better than anyone else. Our country is doing as well as I think it's done better than it's ever done.
Are you going to release a budget next month? And do you want to see another reconciliation package?
Well, I think we have a problem because I think we're going to probably end up in another Democrat shutdown because that's the only way. When we came out with the numbers over 5, everyone was shocked. But remember, we would have been up 1.5 points more. We would have been at 6.5, maybe more than that, except for the shutdown. The shutdown cost us a lot. And I think they'll probably do it again. That's my feeling. We'll see what happens.
So will you release a budget?
We're going to have a budget.
What's in the budget?
What's too early? We have a long way. That's an eternity. When you talk about a couple of weeks in this world, that's an eternity. But we're negotiating the budget right now. We're negotiating health care. I don't want the insurance companies to get the money. I want the money to be paid directly back to the people. And when it comes back to the people, by the way, everyone is in love with it. Mm. You know what happened? I'm looking on your show, but I'm looking and I'm reading the papers and I'm seeing that these insurance companies are up 1,000%. They're up 1,700%, 1,400%. And I said, what the hell? This is money being given by the government. And it has to do with, largely, a lot of it, Obamacare. The money's going, that was designed to make insurance companies rich. The Democrats are very big for the insurance companies. That's why you probably won't have an agreement on paying directly to the people, because the Democrats are totally owned by the insurance companies. But the money should be paid into a healthcare savings account or whatever, but the money should go directly to the people. You'll end up paying less money. You'll have much better health. They're going to go out and buy their own healthcare. So do you think of it? They'll have better health care for less money. Do
you think we'll see another reconciliation plan? Do you want that?
I'd like to see it. It's hard when you have a majority by 3. It's hard because you have a guy like this loser, Massey. He's a real loser. And you have other guys that just automatically vote. No, Rand Paul. I always got along well with Rand Paul, but he's always, no vote. Someday you're going to have to explain it. Some psychiatrist ought to go see him. Even a really great vote, they just vote no. I don't know what it is. I think they get good publicity. They really don't. They hurt the country because if you're voting no, then you're giving the Democrats and socialism and communism, frankly, because you have communists, frankly. When you look at some of the plans being put out by them, these are communists. These aren't socialists. These are communists.
Well, they want to upend your agenda. And the probe of Jay Powell, even Republicans, Tom Tillis, said that we're not going to move any nominations through until this is...
That's why Tom Tillis is no longer there. He's going to be out. He wasn't able to run. He checked his poll numbers. He couldn't have won.
So you're not afraid that they're going to stop your agenda?
Okay, look, they've been fighting me for 10 years. Yeah. And here we are. This isn't the White House, but I'm going to the White House. I'm not going someplace else. And they've been fighting me for 10 years. They're very, very unfair fighters. They're sick. In many cases, I really think they're mentally ill. They've got a problem.